Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HOU Bullcast Show. I'm Aaron. As you all know, thank y'all so much for the last few episodes, for the love y'all have shown. I just don't have enough words to appreciate y'all. I have so much gratitude for everybody that's watched my show so far, shown it love so far, liked it, shared it, and subscribed to it. Even if it's just a little bit, it still means so much to me, so I'm so grateful to y'all. This is for me, this is for the brand of JDW Sports Network, this is the brand for the Texans Network to get me eventually, somewhere in the future, who knows, working for the Texans, who knows, because this is a dream of mine to talk sports with y'all. Even if I don't know y'all, this is still so great for me to have fun. We all love football, even if it makes us want to go to therapy, but overall it's still a great time, and I'm so grateful to make these videos for y'all. But overall, let's get into it. We're gonna do the weekly picks. Today's Wednesday, the night I'm making it, so I'm gonna call it Wednesday's weekly episode, even though it'll more likely be uploaded tomorrow on Thursday. But let's get on from that. For Thursday night, we have Seattle Seahawks going into Arizona Cardinals, and it's on Amazon at 7:15 p.m. So catch it when you can. We got Seattle coming in with their passing yards at their 13th ranking in passing yards. Arizona's 27th in passing yard ranking. Rushing, Seattle's 21st and Arizona's 16th. Point wise, it's a high differential, with Seattle being 5th in points with 29.3. Arizona 19th and 20.7. Overall, with these two offenses, Seattle they're an above average team with their offense. Meanwhile, Arizona, they've been incompetent. They're kind of the team that, like the Texans in a way, they struggle with their offense, even if they do have the weapons for their team for their offense. Like Marvin Harrison Jr., Kyler Murray on his feet. James Conner. I know he's out for the season, I believe. So that's a huge blow for them. But with Arizona, they're on a really, like I said, they're pretty incompetent with their offense. Like, their leading receiver is their tight end with 182 yards, so which is crazy to know that your tight end is the leader of the receiving yards. And going on the defensive side, Seattle's 19th against passing yards. Seattle is 31st against passing yards, so you can see the differential when it comes to the pass game. And I know Seattle loves to pass more. Either way, rushing defense, Seattle is 7th in the league, and Arizona's 4th in the league. So, both teams are good against the rushing defenses. Points allowed, Seattle's second with 15 and 15.7, holding teams 15.7 in these three games. Arizona's 5th with 17. It's the same as the Texans, 17. But overall, between these two teams, I'm gonna go with Seattle. I don't have a score prediction. I'm just gonna go with my picks of who I'm picking, because it's hard for me to really pick a score, because games can go crazy, like last week with a couple games, like say Green Bay and Cleveland last week, going into the fourth quarter 3-0, and you see how low a game can go, and in the fourth quarter it changes. So I can't come up with a score prediction yet. I'm just gonna go with the picks, and y'all go along with the picks. And if you feel the other team will win, then comment it if you have a different opinion on why they'll win and everything. Just us having communication together when it comes to these weekly picks, because it's the NFL. We all come together when it comes to the NFL. Next game, we have the Texans and the Titans. As I said before in the last video, we don't we don't have to go over it, because I said in the last video, but I have Texans winning, and I hope it's a good offensive game by the Texans, especially coming from me, a Texans fan. And we'll see as it goes. But so far, as I said, I got the Texans winning. We're gonna move on from that, because I already made an episode on that, and then I'll talk about it on the Just Arrival podcast with DJ AB Cool, my boy, the Colts fan, on JDW Sports Network's channel. And also, we next we have this is at 8:30 a.m. actually. Yeah, that's crazy. It's Minnesota Vikings versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe this is the game in. Is this in Pittsburgh? I guess so. Yeah. If y'all know the reason why it's at 8:30, please tell me, because I don't know. But let's get into it. I know JJ McCarthy is still out, so between these two teams, they're both inconsistent with their offenses, as the Steelers showed last week. as the Steelers showed last week, getting a win against the Patriots, which was a hard, tough win. And it's one of those things where Pittsburgh's offense is going to be the back and forth team. Meanwhile, Minnesota, they tore up the Bengals last week. They did, and it showed. That was because both teams were missing their quarterbacks, as seen last week when they beat the Bengals 48-10. And I'm just checking right now with Carson Wentz at quarterback, and I believe Carson Wentz will still be at quarterback for Minnesota against Pittsburgh. When it comes to league rankings, Minnesota's 30th in passing offense. Meanwhile, Steelers are 25th in passing offense. But both quarterbacks, I'm sure, will struggle because these are two great defenses they're having to go against. Aaron Rodgers with his age, Carson Wentz with not his age, but more of not being the starter that he once was with the Eagles. And yeah, he might have had a good game against the Bengals last week, but Bengals have no defense. Let's be honest here. But main thing they got is Trey Hendrickson. But we're moving on. When it comes to the rushing offense, Minnesota is 13th in the rushing offense. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh is 31st in rushing offense, which is really crazy to see. So we see whose offense is sort of consistent when healthy. Even if Carson Wentz is the starter. When it comes to the points, Minnesota's sixth in points in the league, and Pittsburgh is 12th in the league of points. And as I said, both offenses, they can have their days of where they'll look good or where they'll look bad. But we'll see how it goes. But Justin Jefferson leading the receiving for Minnesota, and then Jaylen Warren leading the receiving for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is crazy that he leads rushing and receiving for Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh has a lot to take care of when it comes to the receiving, because you would think DK would be their leader in the receiving. When it comes to the defensive side, Minnesota's 3rd against passing yards. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh is 27th against passing yards, which is a crazy differential. So Minnesota's defense is always ready for anybody to come, anybody, whether at home or away. Rushing defenses, Minnesota is 22nd. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh is 26th. So, but honestly, both run games from both teams aren't that great, so I could see it being more of a passing game. And when it comes to points allowed, Minnesota's 9th, allowing only 18.7 points per game, and Pittsburgh is 22nd, allowing 25.7 points per game. And between these two teams in Pittsburgh, I'm going to have to go with Minnesota, because Minnesota they are consistent, but they just got to come together as a team offensively. Defensively, they are good. They are great defensively. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, I'm sure they have their ups and downs. I'm sure their fans can comment of how their offense is really looking, how they feel about their offense, if they are confident in it. But overall, with this game, I have Minnesota taking the win. Next, we got Washington versus Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons, I don't know what happened to y'all last week against the Carolina Panthers, but that was terrible. Meanwhile, Washington, they came off of a W against the Raiders in a good, fashionable win. I'm not gonna lie. With the amount, you can go look at the highlights. Their plays were nice, with great runs. Let me see. I gotta, because I'm bad with trying to remember of who scored. But it was McNichols going up for 60-yard touchdown. Everybody saw that play of him breaking the tackles. That was a crazy play. But overall, Washington, they have a pretty consistent offense. But the thing is, Jane Daniels does lead. I believe he does lead the league in most pressures, most hit. So I know Atlanta's going to come in, especially at home in Atlanta. I know they're gonna get ready for Washington with the offense that they are, and be prepared defensively, because last week against Carolina, that was terrible. It's to where they fired the receiver coach and promoted TJ Yates to the wide receiver coach as he is pass game coordinator. So that's pretty crazy to see that you fired your wide receiver coach 3 games in. Not like us. Meanwhile, us with the Texans, we cut our safety because of distractions, because of locker room noise. But move on from that. Washington coming in, passing yards ranked 18th in the league. Atlanta ranked 20th in the league. Rushing offense, Washington is 2nd in the league with rushing, and Atlanta 6th in the league with rushing. So these two teams offensively are sort of like back and forth with how they are offensively. They sort of are alike, with Michael Penix, with Jaden Daniels. When it comes to points, Washington is 7th in the league with 26.7 points per game, and Atlanta is 31st, which is really low. So when it comes to Atlanta, they can score, but they won't score consistently. So this is a game where Atlanta needs to step up to go against a high-powered offense like Washington. When it comes to the defensive side, that's a big differential. When it comes to the defensive side, I'm just reading it right now on CBS Sports app. Washington is 24th in the league against passing yards, and Atlanta is 2nd in the league against passing yards, which is a high differential. So Atlanta has a pretty good defense. So it's just their offense, their defense can't. It's like the Texans in a way. I'm relating a lot of these teams against with the Texans. And when it comes to the defenses, they can stay on the field and hold their own. But when you put them on the field way too much, then they're not going to have enough time to breathe. They're not going to have enough time to get that momentum back. They're going to be tired. They're going to be exhausted to where they'll give up points because your offense keeps leaving the field. They can't score. And that's what happened with Atlanta last week. They couldn't score, which is crazy to see against Carolina Panthers out of all teams. When it comes to the rushing defense, Washington is 12th in the league against rushing. Atlanta is 10th in the league against rushing. Points allowed, Washington is 12th with allowing 19.0 points per game. Atlanta is 13th in the league with 19.7 points per game points allowed. So, like I said, these two teams are honestly alike. It's just who can be consistent, who can come in and win this game, and I believe it'll be a close game. It really will. And I think it will be all because of their defenses. You know what? After such a big loss, give me the win for Atlanta. I feel they'll come back. I feel they'll go home, reevaluate what they did wrong, and they'll get the win against Washington. Okay, we got Saints versus Bills. Now, this is a game that I'm pretty sure everybody will pick the one side of the Bills, which I will too, but we'll still go over the stats. With Spencer Rattler leading the team in passing with 639 yards, passing 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Josh Allen, 755 yards, passing 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Already in the MVP talks, I'm sure. Alvin Kamara, 186 yards in the season. James Cook, 284 yards in the season. Receiving, the leading receiver for Saints is Juwan Johnson, their tight end. Everybody's just passing their tight end. They're having their tight end be the leading receiver. And the Bills, Keon Coleman with 158 yards leading the receiving for Bills. All right, when it comes to offensive, as I said already, I got the Bills winning. I don't think it'll be close because Saints are, I think Saints will have that number one overall pick at the end of the season. But overall, I'm going to still go over the stats. Saints offensively lead in the league 19th ranked. Meanwhile, the Bills are 6th ranked in the passing yard in the league. Saints with their rushing yards, they are 18th in the league in rushing. Bills, they are 1st in the league in rushing with James Cook, because James Cook is a monster that they are needing to use more and more, and that's what helps their offense instead of making Josh Allen pass as much as he does. And I need that because I have James Cook on fantasy. When it comes to points per game, Saints are 29th, Bills are 4th, and you can already see from the Bills' offense of who they are. They showed it last week. They showed it all these few weeks. They are that offense that you believe will make it to the Super Bowl if today was the playoffs per se, But when it comes to their defenses, Saints are 14th in the passing defense. Meanwhile, the Bills are 1st in passing defense, which is crazy to see. When it comes to rushing defense, Bills are 32nd. Saints are 14th. And when it comes to points allowed per game, Saints are 25th, Bills are 20th, allowing 23.7. Meanwhile, Saints are 25th, allowing 30 points per game. As I said before, I got the Bills winning. The stats don't matter. It's based on the talent, based on the teams, and you can already tell the Bills will go 4-0, and the Saints will go 0-4. Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns heading to Detroit. And honestly, I believe this will be a good game. Cleveland Browns coming off of a tough win against the Green Bay Packers. I didn't think they were going to win, but when I saw that it was tied 10-10 in the fourth quarter after the score being 3-0 for 4 quarters, I was like, all right, I guess it's a full defensive game, which it was, and Joe Flacco, being the old age he is, he managed to help win the game by moving the rock, scoring. Then Cleveland blocking the field goal and moving down the field to make their own field goal, win the game, which was a crazy win, crazy to get for them to get their first W at home. But now we got Cleveland going into Detroit with, as I said, Joe Flacco 631 yards passing, Jared Goff 761 yards passing, Quinshon Judkins further rushing 155 yards. On the other hand, Detroit, David Montgomery leading the rushing with 233 yards. Which is surprising. I thought Jahmyr Gibbs would be the leading rusher, but I guess Jahmyr Gibbs just isn't doing as good as he was last year. But it's only 4 games in. They're gonna get there. Receiving wise, their Browns leading receiver is their tight end. Everybody has their tight end. Harold Fannin Jr. Leading the team with 136 yards. Meanwhile, St. Brown is leading the league for Detroit, obviously, 237 yards receiving. When it comes to the passing offenses, Cleveland Brown in the league 17th ranked with passing, and Detroit in the league 9th. Rushing offenses, Cleveland is ranked 29th, Detroit is ranked 4th. So you see whose offense is more consistent, and this is why at the end of this I will pick Detroit to win. And I honestly feel that it might be another blowout for Detroit, because Detroit is looking deadly with their offense. And if Cleveland Browns don't, as I said before, like with Arizona and other teams, if Cleveland Browns keep having their defense run back on the field, they're going to lose this game. But when it comes to points per game, Cleveland is 30th, which is really low. Detroit is 2nd. So you see the differential in there of who's scoring more. When it comes to defenses, Cleveland is 5th in passing yard defense. Meanwhile, Detroit is 19th. Rushing defenses, Cleveland is 1st, which is surprising, but they have a great defense. Detroit is 11th against with the rushing defense. Points allowed per game, Cleveland is 18th, allowing 22.7 points per game. Detroit is 23rd, allowing 26 points per game. So honestly, I still got Detroit winning, but both defenses are great. But I know with Detroit's defensive passing game, they will struggle. But I don't know if they will struggle against Joe Flacco, but we shall see. But as I said, Cleveland, if they want to win this game, they got to score offensively. They can't just be giving Detroit the ball, because Detroit is a deadly team with the amount of trick plays they have up their sleeve. Dan Campbell bringing the aggressiveness with his defense. So, as I said before, I got Detroit winning. Next up, we got Carolina in New England. Carolina coming up with that surprising W against a pretty hot team with Atlanta, blowing them out, which is crazy. Patriots coming off of a loss against the Steelers, and I'm not gonna discount the Patriots, because they've been looking pretty good for who they are with the amount of talent that they have. They're still doing what they can do with who they got, and that's, I'm sure, from being coached by a good coach like Mike Vrabel. Tennessee Titans, y'all are stupid for firing him, but I called it last year on JDW's Hot Take Tuesday. I said Mike Vrabel's going to get fired by Tennessee, and that's what happened. And he's now back with he's now coaching his former team with the Patriots, and they're a young team, but they're growing. But when it comes to stat wise, Bryce Young with 603 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Drake May 785 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. When it comes to the rushing for both teams, Chuba Hubbard 168 yards rushing, and for the Patriots, it's Ramondre Stevenson with 87 yards rushing. Both running backs with no touchdowns, which is kind of crazy. When it comes to receiving, Panthers, I can't even say his. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna blow his first name, but McMillan. He's leading the league in receiving with 216 yards receiving. Not the league, his team. And then another tight end, Patriots. Hunter Henry leading the team with the receiving with 165 yards with 2 touchdowns. All right. When it comes to the offense, with the league rankings, offensively, Carolina is ranked 23rd. Patriots are ranked 7th, which is really great for Patriots. They're a good passing team. When it comes to rushing, Patriots are 19th, Carolina's 25th. When it comes to points per game, Carolina's 19th, Patriots are 21st. So both offenses are inconsistent, but you can see that Patriots will rely more on their passing, so they will come to whose defense can stop the other's offense, because they may be inconsistent offensively, but when one team scores, I'm sure it's gonna be a tough battle for the other team to score, because both offenses are the type of offenses where you gotta hope that they will come back sooner than later in the game. Now, when it comes to the defensive rankings for both teams, Carolina is 12th against passing. Patriots are 29th against passing. Rushing defense, Panthers are 25th. Patriots are second, which is a great differential. Points allowed per game, Panthers are 8th, allowing 17.7 points per game, and Patriots are 18th, allowing 22.7 points per game. So Carolina's defense, they are good. They are, that defense that can hold their own, but like as I said before, with different teams, it's who can keep their defense from staying on the field too long, time differential with games like these that will come down the line, and I think this will be a close game. And honestly, with the end of this game, I believe Patriots will take the W. For me, like, Carolina did have a great game last week, but I just can't see them staying consistent with that offense that was shown last week. But, we'll see as we go, but I got the Patriots taking the W. And honestly, with these games, starting this week, I will keep a record of myself with my videos of, like, how many I got right, and I'll come back next week and I'll say, like, what's my record from last week, Next, we got Chargers 3-0 going up against New York Giants 0-3. And I'll say it right off the bat, I believe Chargers will win because they are looking great. I'm not going to lie to you. With Justin Herbert passing 860 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, I can see him in the MVP race, so I'm not going to lie, especially because I have him on fantasy. On the other hand, Russell Wilson will not be starting. It'll be Jackson Dart. We'll see what happens there. But throwing your rookie quarterback into the fire against Chargers the way they're playing, that's why I'm going to give Chargers the win, because I just can't see Giants' offense progressing, especially against a great Chargers team. And when it comes to rushing, the Amarian Hampton leads Chargers rushing with 142 yards, 1 touchdown. Cam Scatterboo for the Giants, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's looking great. I'm not going to lie to you. Receiving Chargers for Chargers is Quentin Johnston with 239 yards receiving. Malik Neighbors, 251 yards receiving. When it comes to the offenses with the rankings, once again, Chargers are first in passing. Giants are 8th in passing, but we don't know how Giants' offense is going to look with Jackson Dart at the helm, but we'll see as we go. Chargers are 24th ranked, and Giants are 21st ranked. So, I mean, either way, Chargers aren't really that rushing team, so I'm not going to throw their name out like that with their rushing, because they are more of a passing team, which Giants have to get ready for defensively. When it comes to points per game, Chargers are ranked 14th, and Giants are ranked 27th. So, Giants, if y'all do want to win this game, y'all gotta make sure Jackson Dart is good in the pocket, doesn't get hit, doesn't get pressured. But I don't think that'll happen, because we're gonna get into the defenses right now, which is Chargers against passing, against defensively against the pass is 11th. Giants are 30th. Against the run, 9th in the league. Giants 31st in the league against rushing. And points allowed per game, Chargers are 4th, allowing 16.7 points per game, and Giants are 24th, allowing 27.7 points per game. So Chargers defense is just they're looking great, especially with them beating the Chiefs. In week 1, they look great. They beat the Denver Broncos last week. The week 2, they beat the Raiders. So Chargers are looking good. I truly believe Chargers will win that division, and it'll be crazy to see, knowing that they're the team that took the throne over the Chiefs in that division. But yeah, overall, I got the Chargers winning this game. Giants don't kill Jackson Dart. That's all I say. After this, we got Eagles 3-0 coming up against Tampa Bay 3-0 at Tampa Bay. This will be a great game. I'm not gonna lie. Offensively, defensively, Baker Mayfield versus Jalen Hurts, Bucky Irving versus Saquon. This is going to be a great game. This is at 12 o'clock as well. When it comes to stat-wise, Baker Mayfield, 615 yards, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's looking great, no doubt about that. Jalen Hurts, 479 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's looking good, regardless, even though they are more of a... To me, Eagles are more of a run first offense, so, Jalen Hurts is still great, but I see their offense mainly on the run. Saquon coming in 194 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bucky Irving on the other side, 174 yards, no touchdowns. But he'll get his eventually. Receiving wise, Emeka Ibuka leading the team in receiving with 181 yards, 3 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 144 yards, 1 touchdown. With the Buccaneers, they are missing Mike Evans for the next couple weeks, so we'll see how that goes. But I don't know. I don't see Tampa Bay struggling offensively because I feel like everybody on their offense steps up every week. I saw that against us Texans. They kept fighting no matter who they lost with their offensive line. They lost so much on their offensive line, but they were still fighting, especially Baker being the tough quarterback he is, that resurgence he has. Either he'll win comeback player of the year or at the end of it maybe MVP. Who knows, depending on how far he takes this team. When it comes to the offensive rankings, Eagles are 32nd in the league in passing, Buccaneers are 21st. Rushing wise, Eagles are ranked 14th. Buccaneers are ranked 7th. When it comes to points per game, Eagles are ranked 8th with 25.7 points per game. Tampa Bay ranked 12th in the league, 24 points per game. So both offenses are good. They know how to stay consistent. Off passing wise, they are both pretty low, but it's like once they get that feeling of, all right, we know what we're doing, then they'll go off. Like Tampa, they had a struggling game against the Jets, which they should have lost, but they got the W overall. But overall, this is a 3-0 battle against the previous Super Bowl champion team versus a team that will make the playoffs, I believe, and will give a great fight to anybody they face in the playoffs, depending on their health and everything. All right. When it comes to defensive rankings, Eagles are 7th against the pass. Tampa Bay is 17th against the pass. Rushing defensively, Eagles are ranked 24th. Buccaneers are ranked 6th, especially with Vita Vea leading that defensive line. They know how to stop the run. I've already seen that. Points per game, Eagles are ranked 15th, allowing 21 points per game. Tampa Bay is ranked 17th, allowing 22 points per game. So these two teams, they are honestly equal in a way because both offenses are good. Both defenses can, make their own thing happen. But overall, this is a tough one. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, I want to hear your thoughts on each game that y'all feel you think will be a good game, especially like this one. Honestly, I could have seen this one as a Sunday night game, but man, give me the W for Tampa. I'm not gonna lie, give me the W for Tampa because Eagles did have a tough win against the Rams. Both of them, honestly, both teams, Tampa and Philadelphia, won last week based off of a blocked field goal. So, as I said, I got Tampa because I just have Phil and Tampa win. This is gonna be a great game, though. I have no reason to give you of why I think that. I just feel Tampa will stay consistent offensively, even if they are missing Mike Evans. I feel they will at the end. Like I could see the end of this game being won based off of a field goal, as both teams managed to win based off of a blocked field goal last week. But moving on, we got the Colts coming in 3-0 versus the LA Rams 2-1. This will be a great game in LA at SoFi Stadium. And, coming in, the Colts, they look great. Daniel Jones looks great. I think he will be the leading candidate for comeback player of the year, especially coming from the crap hole that is the Giants. And I said it on JDW's Sports Network channel. I knew Daniel Jones would come in from a crap organization, a crap offense, going into a high-cultured organization as Indianapolis. They have a culture. They know what they want. They're not going to just sit on their ass and just be terrible. Shane Steichen is a great coach. So going into it, offensively, you got Dan Jones, 816 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Matthew Stafford, 739 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Rushing, Jonathan Taylor, who is literally leading the league in rushing compared to everybody. Not even everybody's rushing. Not even everybody's running backs. It's their rushing in general. Jonathan Taylor leads the league against other teams with rushing, with 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rams, Kyron Williams, 226 yards, 1 touchdown. When it comes to receiving, Michael Pittman is leading their team with 193 yards. Puka Nacua, who is leading the league in receiving, 333 yards receiving. When it comes to their offensive rankings, passing wise, Colts are 5th, Rams are 11th. Rushing wise, rushing offensive in rankings, they are 3rd in the league. Rams are 9th in the league. Points per game, Colts are 2nd in the league. Points per game, with 34.3, which is crazy to hear, especially with the team that they had last year with Anthony Richardson struggling, just for them to move, like for them to bench him for Dan Jones, for them to make that decision to start Daniel Jones. I know a lot of Colts fans were pretty 50-50 on the decision on if they were going to like Daniel Jones, but I'm sure they love Daniel Jones now. So with the Rams, though, points per game, they are ranked 11th with 24.3. So Colts are coming in with a high-powered offense, but Rams, they have a really good defense. They have a really good offense as well. So this will be a tough game. But defensively, here we go. Colts are ranked 7th against the pass. Rams are ranked 10th against the pass. Against the run, Colts are ranked 8th. Rams are ranked 13th. Points per game, points allowed per game, Colts are ranked 9th, allowing 18.7 points per game, and Rams are 14th in the league, allowing 20.3 points per game. And it's in LA at SoFi Stadium. If I'm gonna go with a winner, because this is another game that's gonna be good. Like, we've seen how these two teams are in this season. Yeah, the Rams came off of a loss against the Eagles, but they still put up a fight against the Eagles. Like, if they would have made that field goal, they would have won the game, and they'd be 3-0 as well. So I'm not gonna crap on the Rams for their last week loss. It was against the Super Bowl champions, against the team against the Eagles, who knows, might make the Super Bowl again. Who knows? The season's still early, but this is gonna be another great game. Give me the Rams. I don't know. This is a tough one. This is a 50-50 call, but I'm going to go with the Rams. I know I might change my decision, but I'm going to go with the Rams. It's going to be I think it'll be somewhat of a high but low scoring game. That's why I can't come up with a score prediction, but I got the Rams, but I can still see the Colts winning. This will be the tight-knit game when it comes to the fourth quarter. But moving on, we got Jacksonville against San Francisco. Both offenses aren't that great. Like we saw with Texans against Trevor Lawrence, and with the amount of drops his receivers had, Brian Thomas. I don't know what's wrong with Brian Thomas, but he's been dropping a lot. 49ers dealing with their injury with Brock Purdy. So as we go on, it's a pretty bad offense against pretty bad offense, mainly winning because of their defenses staying steady. But Trevor Lawrence coming in 671 yards passing. Mac Jones coming in 563 yards passing. Travis Etienne coming in 270 yards rushing. Christian McCaffrey 176 yards rushing. Receiving wise, another tight end leading another team. Brenton Strange 137 yards receiving, and for 49ers is Ricky Pearsall. Pearsall, I don't know how to say his last name, I'm sorry. They're coming in with 281 yards receiving. Ranking wise, Jaguars are 14th in the pass game. San Francisco is 3rd in the pass game. Rushing offensively, Jaguars are 5th. I believe they were 1st last week, but when they faced the Texans sat them down from their rushing offense and had them move down the rankings in the rushing offense. San Francisco in the run game, they are 26th points per game. Jaguars are 14th, averaging 23.3 points per game. 49ers coming in 23rd, scoring 19.7 points per game. So both offenses, especially 49ers, because of how honestly injured their offense is, like, it's pretty crazy with how the 49ers are right now. And them being 3-0, that's pretty surprising. But when it comes to their defenses, Jaguars are 14th against the pass. San Francisco is 4th. When it comes to rushing defenses, Jaguars are 5th. 49ers are 15th against the run. When it comes to points allowed per game, Jaguars are 5th, allowing 17 points per game. 49ers allowing 16.3, ranked 3rd in the league. So overall, this is going to be a defensive game. it's one of those where whose offense can stay consistent, and I believe San Francisco will get the W. They will go 4-0, which is pretty surprising because of the amount of injuries they have. Christian McCaffrey can, who knows, go down easily one of these games again because he is pretty prone to injury. Mac Jones, you don't know how consistent he will stay, but, overall, I feel, San Francisco will take the W. I feel Jaguars are that team where they're just always inconsistent, and I feel they will stay inconsistent. I don't care if y'all got the W last week. We should have won that game, but we're gonna move on. All right, next game we got a pretty primetime game, honestly. The Baltimore Ravens versus Kansas City Chiefs. Who's gonna get their second W versus who's gonna go 1-3? When it comes to stat wise, we got Lamar Jackson coming in 722 yards, passing 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. Patrick Mahomes coming in 669 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. This is pretty crazy to read to y'all. Leading the team in rushing, Derrick Henry 242 yards, 3 touchdowns. For the Kansas City Chiefs rushing, it's Patrick Mahomes 125 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. That's pretty surprising to see, knowing that I guess they just have no run game, so that'll be a thing for Ravens defense to look upon, with that they have no run game, to keep an eye on Patrick to make sure he doesn't run out the pocket. When it comes to receiving, Zay Flowers leading the team with 231 yards, 1 touchdown. Marquise Brown leading the Chiefs with 171 yards, no touchdowns. So you can see that offensively, Chiefs are struggling a bit. So, and you can see it, especially being 1-2. Like, honestly, to me, Giants should have taken the W last week, but Giants' offense is inconsistent. Russell Wilson was terrible last week. So I was honestly seeing Chiefs go 0-3, but they're not. They're 1-2. When it comes to rankings, Ravens are 12th in the league in passing. Chiefs are 15th. Rushing wise, Ravens are 12th. Chiefs are 17th. Points per game, Ravens are 1st. Chiefs are 21st. And I think Ravens' offense will be too much for the Kansas City Chiefs defense because of the amount of weapons that they have. DeAndre Hopkins, Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson on his feet. But, we'll get to that. Defensively, Ravens are ranked 28th against the pass. Kansas City Chiefs are ranked 9th against the pass. Rushing defenses, Ravens are ranked 30th. Kansas City is ranked 18th. Points allowed per game, Ravens are 31st, allowing 32 points per game, and Kansas City is ranked 9th, allowing 18.7 points per game. So, honestly, this game's going to come down to both defenses and who's going to make the plays offensively. And overall, I'm going to pick the Ravens because I feel Lamar Jackson will have a great game. Derrick Henry will have a great game. Offensively for the Chiefs, they've just not looked good, so I'm going with the Ravens. Next, we got Bears versus Raiders. Bears coming in with a great W against the Cowboys. Caleb Williams leading the league. Well, also Ben Johnson's first W as well as a coach. Caleb Williams coming in 715 yards, passing 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. Geno Smith coming in 831 yards, passing 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. DeAndre Swift coming in 149 yards, rushing, 1 touchdown. Genti coming in 144 yards, 1 touchdown. Rome Odunze leading the team in receiving for the Bears, 227 yards, passing, 4 touchdowns. Receiving for the Raiders is Jacoby Myers leading the team, 228 yards, no touchdowns. When it comes to their stats, of the rankings, Bears are 10th in the league in passing. Raiders are 4th in the league in passing. Rushing-wise, Bears are 15th. Raiders are 30th. And I believe that's based on the Raiders' offensive line, based on their scheme. And honestly, Genti will get there, but with the lack of talent that the Raiders have, I don't feel the run game is going to do that great all season as it's shown right now. Points per game, Bears are ranked 9th. Raiders are ranked 26th, scoring 17.7 points per game. Bears scoring 25.3 points per game. So Bears' offense, they are consistent, but it's based on Caleb Williams' play, based on the scheme, based on everything. But now that we get to the defensive side, you got Bears ranked 26th against the pass, Raiders ranked 23rd against the pass. Bears ranked 26th against the rush, Raiders ranked 18th against the rush. Points allowed per game, Bears are ranked 28th, allowing 31 points per game. Raiders ranked 21st, allowing 24.7 points per game. So both defenses aren't that great. So I can see this being honestly a back and forth game based on whose offense stays on the field. So, and honestly, I feel it will be a back and forth game, not a high scoring game, but back and forth to where when it gets close, it probably will be won by a field goal. But honestly, I will go with the Bears. I'm going to go with the Bears to get that W. Next up, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna hold the Sunday night game because I have I have a little bit of a talk with the Sunday night game, so I'm gonna come back to that one. I'll leave that last because Sunday night is such a primetime game that everybody talks about. Let's move on to Monday. Doubleheader, 6:15 p.m. Jets 0-3 versus the 0-3 Dolphins. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Right off the bat, I'm gonna go with the Jets because Dolphins just aren't doing it. They look like crap. Tua is getting picked off every game. He doesn't look great. Yeah, the Jets aren't great offensively either, but they're still in it to win it. Aaron Glenn is a great head coach, as you can see on the sideline, the way he was pumping up his team, the way they were fighting his Tampa Bay. Like, you can see that they're fighting for their wins. Even though they're winless right now, you can see that they're just itching their way to get that W. Once they do, I feel they're gonna celebrate great, especially for Aaron Glenn's first W. But you got Tyrod Taylor leading the pass game for Jets, 253 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tua, on the other hand, 575 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, which is crazy to see. Rushing, Breece Hall leading Jets with 157 yards rushing, 0 touchdowns. Achane leading the team with rushing, 147 yards, 0 touchdowns. I need him to do better in fantasy this week, even though I have the Jets winning. Receiving, you got for the Jets, Garrett Wilson leading the team in receiving, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill leading their team, the Dolphins, with 198 yards, receiving, 1 touchdown. When it comes to the offensive stats rankings, Jets are 31st in passing, Dolphins are ranked 22nd. Rushing offenses, Jets are ranked 9th, Dolphins are ranked 26th, which is crazy to see. Points per game, Jets are 16th, scoring 23 points per game. Dolphins are 25th, scoring 18.7 points per game. Dolphins offensively are inconsistent. You can see it. They're not really knowing what kind of offense they are anymore, and this is why, honestly, if they lose this game, I feel Mike McDaniels will get fired after this game. And I would honestly, if he gets fired, Mike McDaniels, as I said before, come to the Texans as our OC. I would love that. But on the defensive side, Jets are ranked 13th against the pass. Dolphins are ranked 21st against the pass. They have no secondary. It's obvious. Jets are 23rd against the rush. The Dolphins are 28th against the rush. Points allowed per game. Jets are ranked 28th, allowing 31 points per game. Dolphins are 32nd in the league, allowing 32.3 points per game. So Dolphins have a terrible defense. You can see it. This is why they've been losing against teams like the Bills, against the Patriots, against the Colts. Yeah, they might have had a decent game against the Bills, but it wasn't enough. Their offense wasn't consistent. So I'm gonna go with the Jets at the end of this segment, because I just don't see the Dolphins winning. I see Aaron Glenn getting his first win. The Monday night game, 7:15 p.m. We got Bengals versus the Broncos. Bengals coming in off of a terrible loss against the Minnesota Vikings. Broncos coming in against a loss against the Chargers, but Chargers being a great offensive team. Bengals coming in with no Joe Burrow still. Jake Browning coming in 381 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Crazy to see. Bo Nix coming in passing 535 yards, passing 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Rushing wise, Chase Brown coming in leading his team with rushing, 93 yards, 1 touchdown. Broncos, J.K. Dobbins coming in leading his team with rushing, 222 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Receiving, you got Jamar Chase leading the team, 241 yards, 1 touchdown. And for the Broncos, Cortland Sutton leading his team in receiving, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns. Overall, before I get to the rankings, I'm going to go with the Broncos because I don't see Browning doing better. He faced a great Minnesota defense. Now he's going to face some great Bronco defense. Even though Broncos might have lost, they might have struggled against Chargers. Chargers have a high-powered offense, so I'm not going to blame Broncos defense. But I just can't see Browning getting the job done. He got the job done against the Jaguars because the Jags will Jags. When it comes to rankings, Bengals are ranked 26th in passing. Broncos are ranked 28th in passing. Rushing, Bengals are ranked 32nd. Broncos are ranked 8th. Points scored per game. Broncos are Bengals. Oh my God, I screwed that up. Bengals are ranked 24th, scoring 19.3 points per game. Broncos are ranked 17th, scoring 22.7 points per game. So overall, Broncos need to get themselves more consistent with their offense, especially Bo Nix. He needs to step up. But as I said, I got the Broncos winning. But we get to the defensive side. It's again as any other game. Bengals coming in 25th against the pass. Broncos again coming in 22nd against the pass. Rushing, Bengals are 21st against the rush. Broncos 20th against the rush. Points per game, points allowed per game. Bengals are ranked 26th, allowing 30.3 points per game. Broncos allowing 21.3, ranked 16th in the league. Only reason I see Broncos defense not looking that great right now is because of their offense being a little inconsistent. But as these games go by, I can see their defense getting the rest they need while Bo Nix goes to make drives, which I will see, which I believe we will see this game, and that's why I got the Broncos winning. Now, to the Sunday night game, as I skipped over, we got the Green Bay Packers, which happens to be my father's favorite team. So I know he's going to be rooting them on hard against a very good rival of the Packers, which is the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, which is going to be a great Sunday night game, I believe. Green Bay coming in 2-1, a bad loss against Cleveland. Offensively they struggled, but that's because they were facing a great defense in the Browns. Cowboys coming in with a terrible loss as well, coming up losing against a good night for the Bears. But they're coming in 1-2, but Cowboys record just doesn't. I don't know. Like their record doesn't show. I feel Cowboys are better than their record shows. That's how I feel. But let's get into it. Jordan Love coming in 663 yards, passing, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dak Prescott coming in 800 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So Dak Prescott needs to clean it up, especially in this game at home. Rushing, Josh Jacobs leading the team in rushing, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. For the Broncos, for the Cowboys, I mean, Javonte Williams coming in 227 yards, 3 touchdowns. So I can see Cowboys coming in with the rushing, like, taking over really well, especially with CD gone. But this is why now with CD gone, it is time for George Pickens to step up for the team, for the Cowboys passing game. But receiving wise, leading the Packers is Tucker Kraft, another tight end, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. For the Cowboys, it was CeeDee Lamb with 222 yards, but now that he's not playing, as I said, George Pickens will step up, and I have George Pickens on fantasy. So, I hope he does good as a flex option. Well, let's get to the rankings because this is going to be a good game. I just know it'll be a close game, very all the way to the fourth quarter. Packers coming in 16th in passing, Cowboys coming in 2nd in passing. Rushing wise, Green Bay coming in 20th in passing and rushing, Cowboys coming in 11th in rushing. Points per game, Green Bay is scoring 21.3, ranked 18th in the league. Cowboys coming in scoring 24.7 points per game, 10th in the league. So both offenses, you can see that the Cowboys, they are doing better than expected, and that's why I say the record doesn't show who they really are, and that's why I believe Cowboys are better than their record shows. Defensive ranking, Green Bay is 6th against the pass. Cowboys are 32nd. Green Bay's third against the rush. Cowboys are 17th. Points allowed per game, Green Bay is 1st, allowing only 14.7 points per game, and Cowboys are ranked 27th, allowing 30.7 points per game. So you can see why the Cowboys are 1-2. It's because of their defense. I know that their offense won't be able to score enough at times because their defense gives up a lot. So I truly believe that in this next offseason, Cowboys will go heavy on their defense of who they draft, who they sign. But so overall this year for the Cowboys is going to be a rough draft over what they believe will be a key factor going into the next season. So, and this will be the revenge game for Micah Parsons, as well as Kenny Clark for the Cowboys against the Packers. But overall, this will be a good game. It's going to be overall who can be consistent offensively, and we'll see as the game goes. But like I said, this will be a close game. And honestly, let me go out a few for a second because I gotta check something. But as I said, overall of who I got taking the W, I got the Green Bay Packers. I got the Green Bay Packers winning. Let's go Cheeseheads. Honestly, gonna start doing this as a short shout out to the legend himself, Lee Corso. this is something fun that I've always like dreamt of doing. And you know what? Let's do it every Sunday night game. I want to do something, to call out the team that will win the Sunday night football game. But let's go. I believe the Cheeseheads will win. The Green Bay Packers will win, and it will be a close game. But yeah, Cowboys, I believe in y'all, but I got the Cheeseheads winning. But overall, that's it, guys. This is all I got for the weekly picks. I'm so grateful for if y'all stayed so long, especially to see the Cheesehead on my head. I'm so grateful for y'all. I can't express how much love I have for everybody that's viewed this channel, viewed these videos, and I can't wait to make more. This is for the brand of JDW Sports Network. This is for my brand, HOU Bullcast, and I'm so grateful for y'all to watch this video if y'all have watched this long, or if y'all skipped all the way to see who I'd pick for each team's games, especially this one now that I'm wearing a Cheesehead. But overall, guys, thank y'all so much. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great night.